Welcome to the Heart2Heart Toastmasters Club video newsletter. We endeavor to give you the heart-to-heart news in 30 minutes or less. My name is Deb Peretz, part of the PR team. Toastmaster International's mission is to empower individuals to become more effective communicators and leaders. All clubs are designed to provide a supportive and positive learning environment in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Our core values are integrity, respect, service, and excellence. Heart2Heart is a specialty club of entrepreneurs and others who want to make our messages more heartfelt and authentic. As such, our members are allowed the option to practice a free or a paid offer from the stage in order to receive feedback. Let's hear from our president, Jeannie Alford.
Thanks, Deb, and I want to welcome everybody to this month's edition of Heart2Heart News. We continue this month to explore the concepts of balance and gratitude. I mean, how many of us are busy being human doings rather than being human beings? Finding balance and sharing gratitude are two very important aspects of our life. And I want to thank Sally Reyes for giving us a great word of the day at our meeting, equilibrium. We had a great time working that into our discussions. And I congratulate Michael Ann for getting equilibrium into her talks at least 12 times. That was some Herculean efforts there. In this edition, I want you to pay attention for Michael Ann's excellent exploration on using pathways. Michael Ann's trainings have been very useful for everyone, so take note. I want you to check in with Annabelle as she talks about connecting with your audience, because the more we speak and the more effective we want to be, we need to connect with our audience. It is membership renewal, so if you haven't sent in your dues, now's the time. Check into the newsletter here later on, and in the digital newsletter, we'll have the links. And then look for a link of Michelle's interview done by Gary on training, working in teams, and learning skills. Pay attention to her story on how evaluations help in your own work life. If this is useful, I'd ask you to please share with your friends and your social media followers, and like us on YouTube and subscribe. That helps us with the algorithm. So please sit back, grab your coffee, your tea, or your glass of wine, and enjoy this edition of Heart2Heart News. Back to you, Deb.
Thank you, Jeannie. Now let's go over to Kimmy Avery, the Vice President of Membership, who's going to share a few things she learned from Toastmasters that she wants everyone to know. Over to you, Kimmy.
Thank you so much, Deb. As the VP of Membership, I really want to encourage people to join Toastmasters. Why? Because there's so many things that I learned at Toastmasters that I want you to know, that I want everybody to know. One thing that was so critical is having 3 points when you're giving a speech. 3 things that people can follow. Your audience may not know your topic, so you have to give them enough information, but not too much. You don't want to overwhelm them. My 3 points are often expectations in relationships, how they cause havoc. They lead to hurt feelings. That's point number 2. And those hurt feelings undermine the success of your relationship. And then point number 3 is to learn to understand your needs, your partner's needs, and make clean deals. And in Heart2Heart, we get to make an offer, which would be a call to action. And if you're influencing an audience, being able to call to action is really important. And that may be your child, a coworker, your boss, people who you want to bring to your social justice or important movement. Whatever that call to action is really important. So have 3 clear points so they know what you're talking about, they can follow your speech, and they'll be able to remember them. Back to you, Deb.
Thank you, Kimmy, for those valuable tips. Now let's hear from Michael Ann Connolly, our Vice President of Pathways, sharing some information about pathways. Over to you, Michael Ann.
Thanks, Deb. I'm Michael Ann, and I have some pathway tips for you. I'm going to share my screen, and let's take a quick view of something about pathways that you may not know. Now, if you're not yet a member of Heart2Heart Toastmasters or any Toastmasters club, this is going to come in handy for you as well. Okay, so we call this Pathways Tune-Up Times. This is tips from Heart2Heart Toastmasters. Here is something to know about pathways. There are 5 core competencies that each path in pathways helps you learn. First one is public speaking. Public speaking is a core competency for every single path in pathways. So no matter what profession you're in, being able to speak publicly is a pretty good skill. Second is interpersonal communication. If you are in a business where you really have to relate to people, guess what? Interpersonal communication, that's important. Strategic leadership is another core competency. Then management and confidence. Let's look at what this might look like. On our list of paths, we see presentation mastery, which is where we recommend that our members begin in Toastmasters. And what you see at the top underneath path examples, presentation mastery 1 and 5, these are the core competencies in presentation mastery: public speaking and confidence. Here's another example. In dynamic leadership, we see 4 of the 5 competencies: public speaking, interpersonal communication, strategic leadership, and confidence. Here's where you can find out more. Go to toastmasters.org and search for paths and core competencies. If you're interested in looking into Toastmasters, you can come here and find out what are the things that you need to develop in your business that Toastmasters can help you with. The exact link, you'll find it below the video where you can come here. Thanks so much, and back to you, Deb.
Thank you, Michael Ann, for that important information about pathways. Now let's hear from Annabelle Colstock, our Vice President of Education, who's going to share what she learned at Toastmasters that she'd like everyone to know. Over to you, Annabelle.
Thank you, Deb. I have been working on something that is very important in this day of Zoom communications. You know, when we're in person, it's very easy to talk to people and look at them in the eye. But here, when we're working and speaking and learning our public speaking on Zoom, we have to learn to look into the camera. I have right now a little note that's pointing down right to my little camera so that I can practice this. I am so used to looking down at the people. So here I am looking down at the people in the gallery, and this is not conducive to relating and into your audience and having them connect to you. So this is something that I'm working on, and we are all working on this. Some of us are so much better at it than others, but it's something that we're learning. Another thing that we are working on, that I am working on particularly, is speaking slower. I think I've always wanted to get through a talk fast, so I will speed up my speaking. But I have had a few evaluations where one of the things that has been said is to slow down your speaking. And I think that helps you connect more with your audience too, and taking pauses. When you give those three things that Kimmy was talking about, having your 3 points in your speech, it's a great idea to stop, pause before you get to each new point. Those are 3 things that I've been working on and that you can all work on when you come and join us at Heart2Heart Toastmasters. Thank you, and back to you, Deb.
Thank you, Annabelle, for those helpful pointers. And now I'd like to turn it over to Michelle Pedicola, our treasurer, who's got some information about Zelle payments. Michelle, over to you.
Thank you, Deb. I have some great news for the Heart2Heart membership. You can now pay your dues with Zelle. If you don't have Zelle, you could probably get it through your bank. And once you're signed up, you can send your payment without the PayPal fees to Heart2, that's the numeral 2, Heart, TM, no spaces, @gmail.com. And hopefully we'll put this in the bottom too, heart2hearttm@gmail.com. And you can, if you're paying your full dues for 6 months, it's $51. If you're signing up for the Speechcraft, it's an extra $10, which is $61. Isn't that great? So if you don't have Zelle, this is a great app, and make sure that you check out through your mobile banking how you can get on Zelle. And you can actually do it on your desktop as well. Back to you, Deb.
Thank you, Michelle. That's great to know. And now back to Annabelle Colstock with some announcement. Annabelle?
Thanks, Deb. Well, our next meeting is on October 2nd. That's our Saturday from 4 to 6 p.m. meeting. Oops, I'm looking at the camera. We have a few people signed up already for speeches, so please go into h2h.toastmastersclubs.org, our club website, to sign up for roles. We need evaluators, we need a timer, maybe a speaker or two. We do have a speakathon coming October 2nd. So we already have 3 speakers lined up to speak, and we still have spots for 4 more speakers. So please sign up. And then October 21st is our Thursday morning meeting, and we have room for a headliner and 2 speakers. So we'll see you then. Thanks, Deb.
Thank you, Annabelle. Thanks for spending your time with us today, and I sure hope that we were able to give you a good look at what Heart2Heart has been up to. Remember, we are a specialty club that meets twice a month. On the first Saturday, our next online meeting is October 2nd from 4 to 6 p.m. And our second meeting of the month is on the third Thursday, which is also online on October 21st from 10 to 11. Guests are always welcome. Just a reminder, we focus on helping our members give their message authentically from the heart, and we're always exploring ways to help our members expand their visibility, such as by participating in this very newsletter. Thank you to our newsletter team, Annabelle Colstock, Michelle Piticola, Michael Ann Conley, Jeannie Alford, Kimmy Avery, and me, Deb Peretz, for getting the message out. Great job to all of us. Have a great day, and we'll see you next month.
That was awesome.